Hi guys, Dave Gemby here again. Satan, the devil. We've gone over that many times. I am the devil, I'm Satan. Dude that runs hell for God. Making these videos for everyone, but mostly for my daughter. Because she's kept in the dark a little bit. She's not part of Reptile Club, humanity. She's different. She's a warrior caste. And we're ruled over by little 4-foot grey aliens that have psychic powers that control everyone other than myself and my daughter. We're going to talk about why that is in a minute, because I figured something out that's really quite amazing to me and will be interesting to my daughter. Everyone else already knew about it in terms of humanity and these grey aliens, but I didn't know about it until recently. But the first thing, what did I get wrong in the last video? The thing I got wrong was I don't think I'm going to have to sail to America. When Ariana Rockefeller comes to get me, after the Great Reset is in full swing and these oil prices are through the roof, I don't think we're going to have to sail, because even though the Greys hate my guts, and they're often trying to really hurt me with psychic powers, but they don't have much success. They can't control me. I'm really valuable to them because humanity is a worker species currently. Because humanity is a species that is really athletic, strong, good at sports, but very weak mentally, not very intelligent species. Because, and we're going to talk about it later, the worker caste, the worker drones, haven't got a very big brain. They're designed to do just regular jobs, although that we have as a species got athleticism, whereas I've got a much bigger brain, believe it or not. It's unbelievable. I'm going to prove it to my daughter as well. I'm going to prove it with video evidence. And because they got a smaller brain, that's why they're controlled by humanity. That's because they've got a smaller brain. That's why they're controlled by these grey aliens in space. So I'm actually really valuable to the grey aliens because humanity now has a warrior caste in me. David in the Bible is supposed to be God's man of war, and David is Satan. So what that means is if I go into space to fight aliens, I can't be controlled by alien psychic powers. The Greys can obviously control humanity, but that means that other aliens could control humanity as well, that have psychic powers. And obviously there's other aliens in space that will have that. Humanity is a worker species. But they've been totally mistreated by the Greys. This is what I'm really annoyed about. You know, the Greys have really mistreated humanity, and they've mistreated me as well. They've separated me from my daughter. I mean, they control Nikki Dalloway and her family. And they controlled the courts. They control everything on this planet. They control all these people with psychic powers. And they controlled. I think they can control my daughter a little bit when she was very young, with she was a very young child with a very small brain at the time, and just controlled her mother to separate me from my daughter. And that's something that really was very punishing for me. It was emotionally very distressing, that was. So I'm angry about that, and it does other things that I'm not happy about. And they've done a lot of terrible things to the human race because they control them so much. They've got too much power, these Greys have, and they've abused it. They've really abused it. But anyway, I'm valuable to them. So because of that, I don't think they can kill me on the flight over to America. I don't think they can. They need me to have kids with other women to make more of me. So we've got more warrior caste in humanity who aren't controlled with psychic powers that can go out as soldiers and not get controlled by other aliens and fight for other Earths. It wouldn't work with the worker caste humanity, I don't think so. The aliens are very upset about it. The Greys are very upset about it because they know they're going to get punished by me and my Roman legions. The Roman legions are the Roman army. I'm going to make a Roman, because I've Roman genetically, I'm going to make Roman soldiers that are actually better than the old Roman legions from ancient Rome, because they'll have more powerful brains. But that was a very formidable army. The Roman army is the best army that's ever walked this earth in terms of just scary soldiers that are well equipped and know what they're doing. They're the best army that we've ever had. So yeah, I might have got that bit wrong, but the rest I got right, I'm pretty sure, in terms of everything else. It was quite shocking. It'll be shocking to my daughter, this will be, I imagine. Now, what we're going to talk about now is, I've only recently found this out, and I should have figured this out a lot sooner, to be honest. If you go on the internet and you put in Google human brain, you'll get images like this. And we looked at images like this, right? And it shows the human brain. But this is actually my brain. A regular human, worker caste human, has this part of the brain here, just showing you here, and this part. That's it. That's all they've got. They've got this bit here. Oh, I've clicked it. I didn't mean to, but anyway, well, we'll go on this. We've got this bit, which is called the cerebellum. It says it there, cerebellum. Hang on. This bit, and then this brown. It's the brown bit they've got. Yeah. The pictures are all the same. There's this. So they've got this bit here. There's a bit underneath it. It's like a cross section of it there. And there's another picture here. So the regular humans have got this yellow bit, the purple bit, and this blue bit here. But anyway, this bit round the outside, you see this bit here, the blue bit, the green bit, and this pink bit at the back. Oh, and this purple bit here as well. They haven't actually got. That's Dave Genvy's brain. But the aliens want me to think every regular person, every regular worker caste reptilian has got that brain, when they actually haven't. So what my daughter doesn't realise is I and her have a much bigger brain than everyone else. And I'm gonna and she'll be like, really? Yeah, I think so. I think I've got that right. That part is called the neocortex. This colourful bit here, and that's like neo means new. It's Greek for new brain. Because when I was born in 1984, I was born with a brain the Greys hadn't seen before in humanity. A much bigger brain, much more powerful brain. that means I can't be easily controlled or controlled at all by psychic powers. Like I said, they can beat you down a little bit. They can do things to me, but nothing like how they control everyone else. I keep saying I'm Satan, I'm the devil, and nothing happens. I don't get put in mental hospital. The police are not coming round anymore. The police were coming round before. It's only because they're being controlled by the aliens too. The police don't want to come round here because I'm not actually doing anything other than making these YouTube videos. I'm not causing any trouble on the street. But yeah, humanity actually has a smaller brain than me and Holly. We need a bigger brain as warrior caste so that we're not controlled by other aliens. When we're out in space doing war, we can't be controlled by other alien species other than the Greys. And the Greys can't control us either with their psychic powers. Anyway, so Holly will be like, okay, where's the proof? Right, I'm going to prove it to you now. So the reason I figured this out, it was quite a shock to me, was this guy here is called Scotty Cranmer. Now, he has a BMX channel, Scotty Cranmer, that's how you spell his name. Now, I'll just talk about him briefly. That's a BMX channel. He was one of the best BMXers in the world. An amazing BMXer. And unfortunately for him, a few years ago, he had a bad crash on his bike where he actually broke his forehead. He had a helmet on, but he broke the helmet. He had a really bad crash, broke the helmet and damaged his forehead, damaged his neck as well. Had a spinal injury that he's now semi-paralysed. He's not fully paralysed, but he's got semi-paralysis. So anyway, what had to happen was he had to have some of his forehead removed. And his forehead, you'll see in a minute, it shows he hasn't got this big brain that I've got. He's only got a much smaller brain. Now, I used to watch the channel because I was into biking a few years ago, mountain biking, and I actually used to watch his BMX channel because there wasn't many mountain bike channels on YouTube at the time that were like his. So I used to watch it. I still watch his BMX channel quite a bit. So, and whilst I was watching it, he had this big crash where he got really badly injured. He's not a great BMXer now because he's semi-paralysed. But he can walk a bit, but he not fully walk or run like a regular person. So anyway, if you actually look here, this is him after his big crash. You see how they've had to remove some of his forehead. See that? In surgery. Now, like this is him now. This is, oh hang on, this is him now. But he is semi-paralysed.
9-year anniversary since the accident that changed my life forever.
You see how he's had to have this surgery to that is now, believe it or not, got an actual plastic forehead with the skin pulled over the top. He talks about it in this video. So if you go on the Scotty Cranmer channel, Scotty Cranmer, and then that video, the accident that changed my life forever. You can watch the video and you'll learn all about it. But like I say, he used to be one of the best BMXers in the world. Had a massive crash, had to have surgery on his forehead. You see that big dip in his forehead. If he had a big brain like I've got, there's no way he could have that big dip there in his forehead. Holly, you know, because their brain doesn't have this part at the front, this blue bit. So his forehead, my forehead would be like there, just in front of it. And there's this big brain behind it. Whereas they haven't, they've just got this bit. Scotty Cranmer, just a normal guy, you know. You hear him talking here,
guess there's no better way to start this one than to.
But he's still got the after effects of that injury where he's got semi-paralysis. He can't just go for a run like a regular person. And that's why they're controlled. Their brain just isn't as big. You know, if you go on the internet, you know, you'll find, oh yeah, everyone's got a brain like that. No, they haven't. Dave Genvy's got a brain like that. They've got a much smaller brain. And the proof is Scotty Cranmer's video. You go to 131. I've gone to 131 in the video. So I've gone to 131. And that's what you see is a big part of his forehead removed. In this, because of this big crash that he's had, and you can see where's this big brain that he's supposed to have in there. He hasn't got it. He's only got a smaller brain. So what the regular reptilian worker caste have is a big hollow part in their head. Big part of their head's hollow, and that's helped me understand how. Because I get so angry with them. I'm on my phone or on the computer, on the little camera on my computer. There's a camera there. You'll see myself. There I am, look, filming, vlogging. There's the camera's just up here. I'm often on there. You don't get to see any of those videos, Holly, when I'm shouting. You know, I used to be shouting at the worker caste, reptilians. You know, come on, you need to work with me. We should get control of these aliens. But they can't, because they're just totally controlled. It's so frustrating for me. They're totally controlled by these grey aliens with psychic powers. Everyone is. My mum, my dad, my brother, Nikki, your mum, Martin, your granddad, Stephen, Barbara, they're all just controlled. Everyone is. But I'm not. Because I've got that bigger brain. I've got that bigger brain with that neocortex on it. Whereas they haven't. They've just got this small brain at the back. Their brain's just this, there's a bit at the back and there's a bit in the middle. And it's much smaller. The Greys have controlled humanity for thousands of years with these psychic powers. Since they come to this Earth with their, spaceships. So it's quite a shock, isn't it? A lot of our history is wrong. I mean, there's something else I was going to talk about. The British Empire that's supposed to run the world. Supposedly, been taught by the aliens that we mapped the world with sailing ships. We use sailing ships to map the world. I don't know if my daughter, she might have seen films like Pirates of the Caribbean. She might have seen that film, I don't know. But it's like that we map the world with sailing ships. Ships. Here's a ship from Pirates of the Caribbean. It's got an image. It's got Pirates of the Caribbean ships. Sails. Like we've used the power of the wind to sail massive ships across the ocean. Problem is, what happens when there's no wind? You can't use wind power to move a massive ship across the ocean. I don't think that's possible. I'm not an expert on sailing, but the way the British Empire's mapped the world is with the diesel engine. Or with the steam engine and coal. I'm assuming they did it with the steam engine, with coal. Once they got the steam engine. So they probably mapped the world. They didn't map the world with sailing ships. It's coal in the steam engine, and then it moved to the oil, diesel engine. That's how we mapped the entire world. I don't think you can sail across an ocean on these big galleons with these big sails on. It's just nonsense. Because, like I say, what happens when there's no wind? There's no wind. Some days, it's not windy. So what? You just sit there, you don't move. It's nonsense. You need an actual engine. So we got the steam engine, the proper version of the steam engine, in the late 1700s. So I think we've mapped the world a lot later than what the aliens are trying to make out we did. The aliens are trying to say we sailed to the Americas, like America in I think the 1500s. I think they're trying to say that. When I think it's actually happened later, maybe even as late as the 1800s. I'm not fully sure. I don't think a white man white European men have been in America that long. They might have only been in America since sometime in the 1800s. I mean, I don't. The aliens have tried to just deceive me on everything. On almost everything. They just lied to me about everything. And it's really annoying now, to be honest. I'm pissed off with these aliens. See, the aliens are annoyed that they have to work. I mean, they need a warrior in the stars. The Grey cannot do physical fighting. It's not that good at psychic fighting either, believe it or not. Like, in terms of battling me with psychic powers, I think, they're not all that great. They're a bit pathetic at psychic fighting. They're not all that great. Obviously, Holly, you're only young at the minute, so your brain, although it'll be a powerful brain compared to the other kids in your class, is not at full power. It's like you're not a fully grown adult. I mean, my brain, I think, has only recently got to full power. I'm eating a lot better now. I eat a good diet now, which helps. So it'd be easier if you were here. I'd be able to talk to you about all this in detail. It'd be a lot easier to explain everything to you. You could ask me lots of questions as well. But you can't ask other people questions. You can't ask your mom or anyone else questions, or your friends, because they're not allowed to answer them, because they're controlled by the psychic powers of these Greys, and the Greys want to keep you in the dark. So that's annoying. But it's just how it is. We just have to make the best of it. These oil prices are going to go up soon. I think after I'm 41. So I'm 41 this month. 22nd of November, I'm 41. And then I think the aliens have it planned for oil prices to rise significantly after that date, after the 22nd of November this month, some point when I'm 41. But until then, it won't happen. I've figured that out as well. I think that's right. Obviously, I'm working for God in heaven, so I've got God's help. So what else are we going to talk about? Me and Holly have got this bigger brain, but and that protects us from the Greys to a large extent, from the psychic powers of the Greys. The psychic powers of the Greys can actually really hurt the worker caste, reptilians. And it can give them diseases. I'm pretty sure meningitis and multiple sclerosis is from a psychic attack of aliens. So if people, those are terrible diseases. And I think it's essentially the same disease. So meningitis, or very similar. I've put meningitis here. Meningitis. It's where the brain, the membranes of the brain and spinal cord get damaged. And it's the same in multiple sclerosis. So I put meningitis there. Put multiple sclerosis in. There we go, multiple sclerosis. it'll talk about brain and spinal cord getting damaged again. Membranes surrounding the brain and spinal cord, and it talks of the sheath, the myelin sheath around the brain and spinal cord. Essentially, I think it's the same disease, more or less. But I don't think Holly and I can get that disease, because I think it's caused by the psychic attack of the aliens. But I could be wrong. I'm not fully sure on that. But that shows how at the mercy the Reptilian Worker Caste, just normal people, are to these greys. Because the reptilians with physical strength could easily overpower the greys and rip them apart if they could get at them. But the problem is they're in space. They're in their flying saucers, and they control them with psychic powers. Even if they're in a room with one, the grey might hit him with psychic powers and like get him to fall on the floor or something. So they can't do much. Whereas me, with my more powerful brain, bigger brain, is not affected in the same way at all. So they can give them serious disease. I mean, those diseases, multiple sclerosis and meningitis, they're really life-threatening diseases, and that's why they're such slaves to them. So just kill them with psychic powers, basically, and really cause them a lot of physical damage. So that's something Holly needs to be aware of before you go trying to, if you start asking them loads of questions, they just can't answer them. You've got to realise they're controlled by these psychic powers of these aliens, and the aliens, it's almost like the aliens got guns to their head because they've got these psychic powers. They can't talk to you about it. So that's what Holly needs to understand. This is a good one for everyone, this is. I've realised, I think, that asthma, I've been thinking about asthma because I've got asthma. I think it's mostly a disease caused by cold air damage on your lungs. At the minute, the aliens try to trick us on everything. In terms of science, everything they try to misteach us on. And they'll try and teach you that, reason kids get asthma is because they spend too long indoors. And it's not that. The reason kids are getting asthma, I think, is because their homes are not heated properly. You also ideally need a dehumidifier. I haven't got one in this house at the minute because I live alone, so there's not much moisture in the air from just me on my own in quite a big house for one person. It's a 3-bed house, and I only live alone. But if I lived here with a family, say if there's 2 or 3 other people living here, then I'd definitely need a dehumidifier then. There's just more moisture being released into the air from people having showers, boiling kettles, talking. And the problem is, a kid growing up in a poor home, where the heating's not on that much because the parents can't afford it, and they haven't got a dehumidifier. The air's damp and cold. That kid's breathing in cold air, cold, wet air, and I think that damages their lungs. A child, like a baby or whatever, or a toddler, their lungs are more vulnerable to cold air damage. Now, the reason I've got asthma is because I spent so much time outside window cleaning in the British winter, and I also used to, and then go on the night running in the cold air, doing boxing in cold boxing gyms. I was just always outside, and it damaged my lungs because I was just outside all the time, just in cold air all the time, and then my flat, I had a flat where I didn't have the heating on much to try and save money. And also, it needed dehumidifier in there. Once I got a dehumidifier in that flat, it was way better. And it made the air in there a lot better. It made it really nice and cosy then. Because I was in this little small flat, so it's like, even though I was just one person living alone, it was such a small flat. My daughter might remember it. It was such a small flat that that needed a dehumidifier, even though it was just one person on its own. Whereas this is a bigger space, so it's not so bad here. Yeah, it's cold air damage that's causing it. So I'm trying to teach, because I've got this big brain. You know, I should try and use it to do science, to try and educate worker caste reptilians. You know, things like this, that trying to educate them better, because the aliens are just all they're trying to do is just lie to you all the time. I think that's what's causing asthma, cold air damage. Now, asthma can also be caused by your work environment. So my grandma had asthma, and I think the reason she got asthma is because she, for many years, worked in cotton mills in Lancashire, and the dust in that work atmosphere got into her lungs and damaged her lungs. So, you know, guys who work with asbestos and things like that potentially, if they're not wearing proper gas mask, can potentially get lung damage. If you're outside, working outside a lot, and that'll be the cold air damage. That's what got me having asthma. I talked about asthma before on this channel, where I was saying the way to soothe it. You've got these little inhalers. I found those weren't so great. The way to soothe it is using CBD cannabis. It's perfectly legal to buy. And a water bomb. I've talked about that before on this channel. That help. It won't cure it. It won't repair that damage on your lungs, but it will soothe the asthma, cough, and all of that. So it's something to think about. You know, if you're a new parent of a child, small child, baby or whatever, a toddler, you want to try and keep your home warm and you know, and dry. You might need a dehumidifier, because your child's lungs are more delicate than adults, more susceptible to cold air damage, I think. So it's something to think. If you can afford it, if you've got plenty of money and can afford it, you know, you want to try to keep the home warm. So there's some education for Reptile Club, as I like to call it. Okay, so last bit I'm going to show now, the last part of this video, is a film that I was taken to go watch a few years ago. I think the aliens ordered this guy. I used to know this guy called Richard, and you know, we're friends. And I think the aliens who control him, you know, because he's got this smaller brain, control him, ordered him to take me to go watch this film. And this film is called Alita. See there, it says Alita, Battle Angel. So you can just put on YouTube Alita, Battle Angel. And I think that film, was about Holly, my daughter. It's about a girl who's a robot. She's a robot girl, but she's got a human brain. She's got this big brain that I've got. She's got a big brain, and she's really good at fighting. She's warrior caste, and you can watch some clips from the film.
To a different world.
It's just this. Hang on. That's her there.
In time you'll remember.
But she's really good at fighting.
contains technology.
There, she's throwing some punches here.
Technology.
She's really good at fighting. Because she's actually a robot, but she's got this human brain. It's sort of like the aliens, the grey aliens, need our brain and need us to do the fighting in the stars. But also, I've got to make the Roman leaders. I've got to make a lot more of me. But that's about my daughter, because I think the aliens had plans to work with her. I think the aliens thought, well, if I die, if Dave Genvy dies, because I'm very isolated at the minute from everyone else. If I die, if I just kill myself or something stupid like that, which I'm not going to do, then they'll have to work with Holly. And this film's about her, Alita Battle. There's flashback scenes, pretty cool scenes in this film of her being used, this little girl being used for combat, war in the stars. This is Alita Battle Angel flashbacks. So I'll just play it. She's here fighting these people.
99! On your left! You'll never give up.
She's doing training there. Training.
Always ask, what is it that you are not seeing? Nova? He is the dragon.
Just in training.
Slain.
And then there's another scene there at this war, they're fighting. So yeah, I think that it's about my daughter, or another daughter I might have in the future. I've only got one daughter, I've only got one child. But the aliens need us. That's why they can't kill us on our way to America. They can't crash the plane or sink the boat. Because they need my genetics to make soldiers. However much they dislike me, the Greys don't like me. They're not happy. They're not happy with me at all. I'm not happy with them. I think they're a piece of shit. So. But we're going to wait for oil prices to go up, and that's happening after my 41st birthday, 22nd of November this month. At some point, I'm not exactly sure when it's happening. Like, I can't give you a day when it's happening, but it's happening at some point. Anyway, so that's the end of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.